Welcome to our news discussion podcast. I'm Claire, and joining me is Alan. Today, we'll be covering several key stories that have been making headlines recently.
Hello, Claire. I'm Alan. Let's dive into our first topic.
The U.S. District Judge Christopher Cooper has ordered that President Donald Trump's name be removed from the Kennedy Center. The ruling was made on the grounds that only Congress has the authority to rename the federally chartered venue.
That's interesting. So the judge's decision was based on the legal authority to rename the center. Can you tell us more about the context surrounding this decision?
The Kennedy Center was renamed to include Trump's name during his presidency. However, the judge ruled that this action was unlawful because it wasn't authorized by Congress. The ruling also blocked the center's planned temporary closure during upcoming renovations.
I see. So the judge's order not only addressed the naming issue, but also the closure plans. What does this mean for the Kennedy Center's operations?
Essentially, the center must remain open, despite the planned renovations. The judge's order effectively stopped the administration from proceeding with the temporary closure.
That's a significant development. How did the Trump administration respond to this ruling?
The reporting doesn't detail a specific response from the Trump administration regarding this particular ruling. However, it's clear that the decision has implications for how such institutions are managed and renamed. Moving on to our next story, the top U.S. general overseeing Latin America recently met with senior Cuban military officials near Guantanamo Bay. The meeting focused on operational security matters.
That's a notable development, especially given the current tensions between the U.S. and Cuba under the Trump administration. Can you provide more context about this meeting?
The meeting was described as a brief exchange on operational security matters. It occurred near the U.S. Navy base in Guantanamo Bay, and it marks a rare instance of direct communication between the U.S. and Cuban military officials.
So this meeting seems to be an attempt to maintain some level of communication despite the strained relations. Did the reporting say anything about the tone or outcome of this meeting?
The reports indicate that the meeting was brief and focused on operational security. There isn't much detail about the tone, but it suggests that both sides are maintaining some channels of communication.
That's somewhat reassuring. It shows that even in tense times, there are efforts to keep certain lines of communication open.
Myanmar President U Min Aung Hlaing has started a 5-day visit to India. The trip aims to enhance trade, connectivity, border security, and defense ties between the two countries.
This visit is significant because it marks one of the first major international trips for Aung Hlaing since becoming the civilian leader of Myanmar. What are the key areas of focus during this visit?
The visit includes discussions with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and engagements in Mumbai to explore business and industry interactions. The focus is on strengthening bilateral ties in various sectors.
It's interesting to see Myanmar reaching out to India in this way. What does this mean for the region?
The visit is seen as an effort to bolster regional cooperation and economic ties. India and Myanmar have been working on improving their relationship, and this visit is a part of those efforts.
So this is a positive step in regional diplomacy. Are there any specific agreements or announcements expected during this visit?
The reporting suggests that there will be discussions on enhancing trade and connectivity. However, specific agreements or announcements are not detailed in the stories we've seen so far. President Trump's physician has released a medical report stating that Trump is in excellent health and is fully fit to serve as commander-in-chief. The report followed a medical exam at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center.
That's a significant statement, especially given the public interest in the president's health. What specific medical evaluations were conducted during this exam?
According to the report, Trump underwent a CT scan, other heart imaging, and cancer screenings. The physician, Dr. Sean Barbella, concluded that Trump is in excellent health based on these evaluations.
I see. So the report provides a fairly comprehensive assessment of the president's health. Are there any details about the president's medical history that were revealed during this exam?
The reporting doesn't go into specific details about Trump's medical history. The focus is on the current assessment that he is in excellent health and fit for duty. The U.S. Department of Justice has requested that a judge recuse herself from a case involving Georgia election records. The reason cited is her reported attendance at an event honoring Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis.
That's a potentially significant development in the case. Can you explain the context behind this request?
The DOJ argues that the judge's attendance at the event could be seen as a conflict of interest or bias. The case involves Georgia election records, and the judge's impartiality is being questioned due to her presence at the event honoring Fani Willis.
Ah, that's a serious concern. How might this affect the proceedings of the case?
If the judge recuses herself, the case would likely be reassigned to another judge. This could potentially delay the proceedings or alter the dynamics of the case.
As we've covered these various stories, it's clear that there are several significant developments, from legal rulings to international diplomacy and domestic politics.
Exactly. Each of these stories highlights the complex and multifaceted nature of current events. We'll continue to follow these developments and provide updates as more information becomes available.
And that's all for today's discussion. Thank you, Claire.
Thank you, Alan. Until next time, goodbye.